My coworker followed me to the parking lot and said, "I found your name in a file that shouldn't exist. Meet me tomorrow alone." The first thing I noticed was how Priya's hands were shaking. Her fingernails dug into my jacket sleeve, hard enough to leave marks. She was always composed, always professional, perfect emails with bullet points, never raised her voice. But in that parking lot, under the flickering orange lights of the Meridian Technologies employee garage at 7:43 p.m., she looked like someone who had seen something that couldn't be unseen. Her eyes kept darting toward the security camera, mounted on the concrete pillar 20 feet away. When she spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. We were the only two people on the entire third level. I asked what she meant about a file. What file? Whose file? She shook her head so hard a strand of hair came loose from her bun. She pressed a folded piece of paper into my palm, closed my fingers around it. "Tomorrow, coffee shop on Brennan Street, the one with the blue awning, 6:30 a.m. Then she was gone, walking toward her car with controlled speed, fighting the urge to run. I'd been working at Meridian Technologies for 3 years and 4 months. Mid-sized data analytics firm in the Research Triangle, North Carolina. Motivational posters in the lobby. Turnover rate that suggested the culture wasn't great. I was a senior systems analyst in infrastructure, maintaining servers, troubleshooting network issues, explaining to management why their requests took longer than a weekend. It paid well. Down payment on a house in Cary the previous year. Good health insurance. Mattered more than I wanted to admit after my father's heart attack left him with medical bills. I was 34, single, reasonably content in the way people are when they've stopped expecting miracles. Priya Nair had joined 8 months before that night, transferred from Boston, led some new compliance initiative nobody understood. She worked in internal risk assessment, 4th floor, special key card most employees didn't have. I knew her the way you know co-workers in a company of 300, nodding in hallways, small talk in the lunch line. We'd had exactly one real conversation, 6 weeks earlier, stuck waiting during a false alarm fire drill. She mentioned a project giving her headaches, data retention policies. I made some forgettable joke. That was it. That was our entire relationship before she grabbed my arm and told me my name was in a file that shouldn't exist. The piece of paper contained 3 things: a date from 4 years ago, a string of numbers that looked like an identifier code, and the words Project Lighthouse in handwriting so small I had to squint. I sat in my car for 15 minutes. 4 years ago, I hadn't even worked at Meridian. I'd been at a smaller firm in Durham, a startup that got acquired and dissolved. There was no reason my name should appear in any Meridian file from that time. No reason Priya should look that scared about corporate paperwork. I barely slept that night. I pulled into the coffee shop parking lot at 6:17 a.m. Blue Door Coffee. Far enough from Meridian's campus that running into colleagues was unlikely. Priya was already there. Corner table, back to the wall, clear sightline to both exits, laptop open, screen angled away from the window. She didn't look up until I stood directly across from her, dark circles under her eyes, gripping her coffee cup with both hands. She gestured for me to sit. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then she turned the laptop toward me. "What I'm about to show you could get us both fired. It could get us both arrested. And if I'm right, it could be a lot worse." The file was labeled with alphanumeric characters, meant nothing to me. But when Priya opened it, I recognized my own face immediately. A photograph from my previous employer's badge system, dated 3 years before I started at Meridian, attached to a dossier containing more personal information than I'd ever given any company. My social security number, my medical history, a knee surgery from college, antidepressants I'd been prescribed after a bad breakup, my credit score, phone records going back 5 years, transcripts of text messages I'd sent to friends and family, notes in the margins analyzing my psychology, my spending habits, my relationships, my vulnerabilities. One section was titled Leverage Points. My mouth went dry. The timestamp on the file was from 14 months before Meridian had even posted the job listing I'd applied to. And at the bottom of my file was a single word I didn't understand yet. Full story is linked below or on my channel.